You're entering a no judgment zone. The following show is real and raw, and everyone is encouraged to speak their mind. This is the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. An open platform, one that welcomes everybody. This is the Immigrant Experience. And now your hosts, Emmanuel and Ruben.
And maybe just to follow up on that, given the period that you have been in Canada, have you maybe go to workshop to resume making, resume building?
No, I didn't need to do that because what I realized is that the issue with my application had nothing to do with my resume.
Okay.
Like I've actually had to show my resume to one of those services, and they told me there's nothing we can tell you to improve on. I was actually told this,
So definitely your resume you made when you came was actually good enough.
It was actually good enough.
Oh yeah. And how many jobs have you sent your application? And how many?
I can't count them. More than hundreds of applications.
And how many did you get a response from about giving you an interview?
No, none.
And did you try applying for jobs which are related to your
any kind of job that is related to my field? I have many fields. I have industrial engineering.
Exactly.
I have supply chain. I have project management. I tried all.
Oh yeah, and I had somewhere that sometimes I don't know if you know of career stagnant, like stranded in a career, so that you may take a survival job that is not within your career field, then pretty much get a lot of experiences there. Then you're pretty much stuck there. You cannot apply for a job within your career. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do you find it that way?
No, basically get into, I'm still struggling to get to these, supply chain industry and, because I don't have, experience specifically in the supply chain. Although I was teaching, supply chain management and Lean Six Sigma, so that's part of my qualifications. But it was, once I was able to talk to the hiring manager directly, I was able to get positions in IT. So, as a contractor.
That's good.
That was the advice that I got from the CEO of Agile Club Consultant, who met with me and told me that I'm actually better off being a consultant than trying to be an employee.
So and
he was right. So
definitely. I feel I've had that story many times before from people who came here with a high level qualification. They end up resorting to maybe starting their own consultancy or maybe starting their own projects, which are geared towards what their education.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why now I have my own company in IT consulting.
Oh yeah, that's great. If they can't give you a job, create one.
And sometimes too, did you find the barrier of Canadian experience being having Canadian experience a barrier to you getting a job?
Well, it was definitely a barrier at first. When I didn't have a Canadian experience, I wasn't getting any kind of responses.
Oh yeah.
Nothing. And then once I started working with the survival job, and I got the PNP, then the advice was split. Some of them were telling me, "Oh, you're great, but you're overqualified," and the others were telling me, "Oh, you just need to keep trying. You will get that one response that that wouldn't shut the doors in your face."
And even putting your the survivor job you talk about, even getting that, you still needed a Canadian experience or some connection. Did you?
Not really. After that, it was just trying to find the entry job, or just talking to a hiring manager so that they can see that I have the qualifications. It was no longer an issue that my experience is international.
And sometimes getting into a job, you really even a dream job, like getting to one job at a time, then build up from there.
Yeah, and build up.
Talk to people and getting to know. Yeah. And sometimes like the best, like most of people find their jobs through like friend reference.
Yeah.
Like getting to hear from another person, then.
Oh, my friends tried. Like I made friends here, and they tried to make referrals, but it gets stopped at the very early stage.
Oh yeah.
Normally through referrals, I'm supposed to get at least one interview, and it didn't happen. Like I tried with different companies, and it didn't happen.
Oh yeah. And you said you're teaching back in Morocco. Have you tried maybe applying for teaching jobs here in Toronto, college, university?
Now I am teaching with Northeastern University.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I was able to make it back to my field again. Yeah. It took a while. It took a while for me to get there, but COVID did impact that. Like it would have been easier if it hadn't been for COVID for me to get to academia, because academia works differently. In academia, if you have the credentials, then you just need to be referred.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing as business.
Yeah.
It was actually, once I got all the credentials that I needed, it was easy to get the teaching position with Northeastern.
Yeah, and maybe getting to know with all your story and experience, why did you finally decide, let me go to the media? Let me talk to Toronto Star.
I didn't go to the media. The media came to me.
Oh.
I actually didn't think about going to the media. I was just happy that I made it. Like
I'd like to know how that connection was established.
I met the Rania from Pecan. So she's an advocate for Arab women in Canada.
Okay.
And I talked to her about my struggles. Back when I didn't have any. When I had all the doors closed to me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the one who helped me. Arrange very good connections until I met the CEO of the company that I was consulting with.
Mm-hmm.
So she was very, very helpful in that respect.
Yeah.
And basically this journalist contacted her to ask her about if she knows any immigrant women who are successful, and she suggested me. So I actually didn't go to the media. They went.
Oh yeah, that's great. And it's through your connection with your friend, then you connected there.
Yeah, it's through the connection. So if I didn't reach out to her, no one would have heard about me.
Yeah. Would you, in your own opinion, would you say the pandemic had a role to play with these barriers you faced? If you assess that.
In the academia, yes.
Yeah.
In the business, no.
Okay.
Because I could see, it was obvious, when the pandemic hit, there was no job posting for teachings. The job postings disappeared, but the job postings for project management, they were there.
Yeah.
They were still there.
Yeah.
So the demand was there, despite the pandemic.
Yeah.
The pandemic, I know for a fact that it didn't impact the project management side, but I know that it did impact the teaching side.
Yeah, and most of the the jobs in robotic internet jobs increased pretty much.
Exactly. It boomed actually in IT. So that's why I know for a fact that the pandemic wasn't a factor.
Yeah.
At least from the project management perspective.
Yeah, and sorry, I just have this flow of chain of thoughts going. Would you say this impacted, talking about impact, would you say this impacted your mental health in some ways, these barriers which you
definitely there was a time when I felt down I mean anyone in my place would feel would feel the same, especially after months of struggling and you see yourself in a place where where you should be in a better place because of your qualification and you've been through a lot. I mean, I'm not talking just about myself. I know that this is the case of many immigrants like me. But I kept the faith because I know who I am. I know my potential, and I know that there will be a door opening. So
absolutely.
So I just had to keep the fight until I made it.
And with even talking to the media, did you have that faith? I'm sure this message will touch someone.
Well, yes. Because right after the article went out, I had hiring managers telling me that they are shocked that this happened to me.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So hiring managers have no idea about the struggles that immigrants are feeling every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they even said, why do we have to read about you on an article? Why didn't we get you from a recruiter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's not everyone that's biased. It's not the situation for everyone, but it is impacting a huge portion of immigrants who come here, and some of them actually decide to go back. I have my friends, I know them, and they struggled like me, and they had to go back because they had no choice. They had jobs in their home, and they couldn't find jobs here. While they are actually very qualified to get those jobs.
Being optimistic actually pays off.
Absolutely.
And sometimes not everyone has that thick skin to keep their confidence up or to keep going when times get really, really tough. But from your story, I can tell that putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable actually would open you doors.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've kept the faith. I know that I know that God would help me get to where I want to go. I just need to give it my all.
Yeah.
So I had to give it my all.
And you said that even some of the employers were saying we are not supposed to hear this from the media. Why are we?
They were shocked. They didn't know how it could be possible for someone as qualified as I am to have such a hard time finding a position.
Yeah.
And that's how I know how important this is. That the message needs to be transmitted because there is a barrier here. Hiring managers have no idea of what's going on the other side. Recruiters are just worried about the 80% list, checking the box and not really care about the character of the person, whether the person actually fits the job and is actually would actually be able to handle it. And that's what the hiring manager wants. They want someone who can handle the job, someone who fits the 80% box. And that's where the disconnect I feel is.
And I don't know what build up that disconnect between the employer and people applying, and especially with the immigrants. I've met a lot of immigrants who have ton of experiences, but I think that having a recruiter in between, checking those boxes, this one doesn't have this one A, B, C, D, E, then it limits the chances of even this one even having a chance to be interviewed.
Absolutely. Most of the jobs that I, after the article, I was called for jobs. I wouldn't hit 80% of the boxes for them. But they felt that I am more than qualified for it. Because I have a very unique set of skills. Because of my experience. Because I as an immigrant, I am adaptable. That sends a message. I can adapt to change. That I am flexible and whatnot. And this is an advantage that hiring managers know, but unfortunately most recruiters don't really see that.
That's the reality of many immigrants. I've spoken to lots of people who come here and they happen to actually have been overqualified. And sometimes, like what you just said, it results to them going back home because they feel they didn't get the right amount of support.
Absolutely.
Or maybe it results to a mental health situation where they get depressed or go through an emotional.
Oh, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. Some of my friends, they went through a very, very difficult mental situation where they were depressed. They they felt like that everything is closed. All doors are closed in front of them.
Literally, you've given up everything you had. You've left your family. You've left everything you had back home, and here you are putting yourself out there, making yourself vulnerable, trying to find something better for your family as well, and you're just getting all these doors shutting at you at the same time. That could be really difficult
but
and
the
challenging.
the one thing that got me going is knowing that this is not the situation for everyone. That I just have to get through the blockage of recruiters. That I know that there are people who actually want me.
Yeah.
So knowing this, I knew that I just needed to keep going.
Yeah.
It was difficult, but I knew in my heart that I will be able to make it. And thank God I was able to.
Okay, talking of this of depression, and I just read an article that I think suicide rate of international students is spiking in 2022.
Wow.
And it's all contributing to stress, economic stress, and the struggle immigrant youth are going through. Yeah. And do you think like telling these stories will pretty much change the lives of other newcomers or immigrants who are coming to the country?
Well, I hope so. I hope that the message would reach, hiring managers and people in government to try to start conventions to bridge the gap between the hiring manager who want to hire the immigrants and the immigrants who are here who are faced with this blockage because there are other applicants that have local experience and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So I do hope that this message will reach and some action will be taken.
Oh yeah.
Because this has been a silent challenge not just for me but for many immigrants like me, specifically women immigrants as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge bias against women immigrants that they are. That they may not be able to perform as well as a male.
Yes.
And that's a bias that needs to change because men and women are both capable of the same thing.
Yeah.
And we need to change this ideology that the gender has anything to do with performance.
Yeah.
If anything, you would find some women are actually better, more motivated than men in their work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because they do it with passion, and they are following their passion. They don't have to do it. They are following what they want, what they love.
Yeah.
So I do hope that this message will reach and some action will be taken.
Oh yeah, and that being said, do you think maybe your gender played a part in the struggle you encountered?
I wouldn't know because I have no idea of knowing that, but there was a situation where I did feel that the gender played a role. I was seeing after I finished the bridging program with Ryerson, I was seeing my classmates. So we have the same degree, we have who have the same certification as I was getting jobs when I was not getting even a first interview.
Oh yeah.
So I've seen it happen. So they were male, and they were able to find jobs. Like I was reading it on LinkedIn, and I was still struggling to find a job.
Oh wow, wow. And maybe on another note, like with your experience that you encounter coming to this country, the struggle finding a job, what advice do you have for immigrant women and even men who are coming to this country? Qualified or with education, ton of experiences, looking for a better life?
Well, the first thing is doing due research about the programs that they want to go to, whether their profile is actually needed where they are going.
Yeah.
Most of immigrants, they just choose the place that would fit them financially. And that's a bad move.
Yeah.
You want to go to the place where your profile is actually needed.
Yeah.
You also want to build the network before coming to Canada. So you want to build those relationships way before you can set foot on Canada. And you need to look for what kind of certifications are needed. Like I would have liked to have the information that I need, the PMP and other certifications before coming to Canada.
Yeah.
Like I could have, tried to get those before coming, so that I didn't have that much trouble once I got here. So basically due diligence, and it would be difficult. And let's face it, it's a reality. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible. It doesn't mean that you can't find the position. You just need to keep reaching out. There will be someone who will lay a hand.
Yeah, for sure.
There will be.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, you just have to keep the faith, and everything will work out.
And with your experience, do you think maybe coming to Canada, for example, if I was a manager back home, do you think it's good to pretty much downgrade the experiences and lower my expectations?
No, I don't believe so, because I tried that. I tried to downgrade. Like I after I got the PNP, I got split advice.
Yeah.
Some of the professionals were telling me that my profile is too scary and I need to downgrade, and others were telling me, no, just continue. Reaching out, you will find that one door.
Yeah.
So I tried both ways. So I tried downgrading. And what all that did is that it took the edge, my edge, the edge that I had over other candidates, like it took it out and took it away. So I was just, a normal applicant without anything, special.
Yeah.
And, obviously I wasn't picked for jobs, and I could understand that because, there were other applicants that had a better profile.
Yeah.
So I realized that it wasn't doing me any good. So I put back everything, like literally everything that I've ever done. Like I put it all there, in black and white. And I decided, okay, if someone is going to be scared of my profile, then they don't deserve me to be, part of their organization. So I'm just gonna, try the ones who actually want someone like me.
Yeah.
And, and actually, I ended up not being employed anywhere. And that's how I started consulting. So
you've been listening to the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. We hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hook up with us on Instagram at Anyo_2021. # the Immigrant Experience. See you guys next time.